As with any new president, Donald Trump receives harsh criticism from the people who oppose him. However, the difference with the current president of the United States is that the people who do not support him are in greater numbers than ever before, and this disapproval is especially prominent in the media, which is growing more and more popular every day. The difference between the media today and the past forms of media is that now there are terms, fake news and alternative facts, that describe all of the news the media reports that is not checked for its truth and then reported anyways. The media in today's society is unfairly representing Trump to shape public opinion against him, and this media is posing a danger for society as public support for our country, president, and government are in the decline unjustly. In a press conference with Chuck Todd, a television journalist working with NBC, Donald Trump's counselor Kellyanne Conway attacks the media on their publishing of false stories and defends the president for the media's accusation of him himself lying to the people. Rather than directly saying they are lying, Conway describes the stories as alternative facts.
Chuck, I mean, if we're going to keep referring to our press secretary in those types of terms, I think that we're going to have to rethink our relationship here. I want to have a great open relationship with our press, but look what happened the day before, talking about falsehoods. We allowed the press to come into the Oval Office and witness President Trump signing executive orders. And of course, the Senate had just confirmed General Mattis and General Kelly to their 2 posts, and we allow the press in. And what happens almost immediately? A falsehood is told about removing the bust of Martin Luther King Jr. from the Oval Office. That's just flat out false. And
it was corrected immediately.
Chuck, why was it said? Chuck, why was it said in the first place? Because everybody is so presumptively negative.
Climb into the head of that reporter.
No, that it's okay. No, excuse me. Oh, no. That reporter was writing on behalf of the press pool. That falsehood got spread 3,000 times before it was corrected.
Excuse
and
me.
It's
it
still
does
out
not
there.
excuse, and you did not answer the question.
I did answer your question.
No, you did not. You did not answer the question of why the president asked the White House press secretary to come out in front of the podium for the first time and utter a falsehood. Why did he do that? It undermines the credibility of the entire White House press office on day one.
Don't be so overly dramatic about it, Chuck. You're saying it's a falsehood, and they're giving Sean Spicer, our press secretary, gave alternative facts to that. But
in an article on the website Politico by Hadas Gold, CNN is quoting admitting that they did not run some of Trump's campaign ads during the election because of his very blatant opinion that the media is biased and does not always speak the truth. Also during the election, according to the Washington Examiner, 91% of the media covering Trump's campaign was information portraying him in a negative light, and 96% of the total amount of donations went to support Hillary Clinton and her campaign. The article also states how 55% of the public are concerned and aware of the bias in the media coverage of the election. One of Trump's advisors, Rudy Giuliani, stated during a release that it is refreshing and it is very good for our democracy that we have a president that is trying to get us back to a free press. Trump himself uses Twitter as a main outlet for his opinions, and by ironically using the media to get his anti-media opinions out, the people can more easily connect with their president and see his views. During Trump's first press release as president, the media tore him apart both for the size of the crowd during his inauguration and for certain things he said that were not true facts. The media does not even mention all of the positive things he says, rather tears him apart for one mistake. Kellyanne Conway, doing her job of trying to defend the president, coined the term alternative facts because the media was not budging on their negative portrayals of this mistake. Conway's words sparked a huge debate among the public about whether what the media is doing is actually right or not. During the election, the majority of the coverage was largely one-sided in favoring Trump's opponent, Hillary Clinton. The refusal of major media outlets such as CNN and others to refuse to promote one candidate's ads does not allow for the people to receive all of the information they are entitled to, and therefore are not able to make a fair judgment of their candidates when they go to vote. For example, if an individual only watches CNN prior to voting and only views Hillary's campaigns, then that individual is unable to fairly consider voting for both candidates and rather has a bias to choose Hillary. Since only 55% of the public were aware that the news they are receiving was biased, that means 45% of the public were incapable of making a fair decision of who should be president next. Trump speaking out against the media is only causing society to realize how the media can actually say whatever they want without being checked, and Trump is helping the people to realize how dangerous that actually is. The election was a perfect example to help people realize that they do not always receive all of the information that they should. The president is using his power to expose the media how it truly is, and since the media does not want to be viewed in a negative way, they are attacking him to make him seem untruthful himself. Finally, the media can return to only speaking the truth with the amount of people who do not approve of the way the media is now. I personally think it is ridiculous that the media refuses to fairly portray the leader of this country, especially after he was elected. During the campaign was wrong in its own way, as the people did not get to see both sides, but now that he is officially the leader of our country, the media should show him the slightest respect and publish some positive stories about him, rather than only tearing him apart. Our whole democratic system is in jeopardy because people do not have enough information about who our president is, and they do not receive unbiased information about his actions, but rather only hear the opinions of a few large media corporations. Our country is headed on a very bad path if the media, which basically rules our world with how dependent people are on social media, especially the younger generations, get to choose what information is published to the people and what is not. The media should not get to decide what the people have the right to know. That is a direct violation of the freedom of the press right that was granted to us in the Constitution. The president has significantly lower ratings than he should just because of the biased information put out by the media, and our country is no longer a democracy if the people do not feel that they can trust our president, nor do they feel that they truly know what is happening in not only our country, but our world today. There is one positive, however, that the media is finally being exposed for how biased it truly is, so maybe now people can start to make changes to the industry. Trump is effective in using his position and his power to expose the media for the way they put out fake news and can say anything they want without anyone checking to make sure what they're saying is the truth. A writer of the Washington Examiner said that he personally is a strong advocate of the president's use of Twitter because he is able to get around the liberal media. The media feels threatened by the amount of people who are realizing that the president is right in his claims, as the people now realize that they must take all information they receive with a grain of salt. Not every word in the news may be the whole truth. President Trump himself uses Twitter as his outlet because he explains how that is the only outlet that he gets to say his own words without the media finding a way to twist it against him. Also, since he has been elected and has called so much attention to the issue with unfair media, many of the people are furious with the lack of information they have been told that they deserve to know, and thus are enraged to a point that they will begin to demand changes to the media industry. NPR, National Public Radio, makes demands for new media and journalism strategies, as the ones that they have employed in the past do not hold true for the new presidency, since so much of the media was inaccurate. The Washington Times posted an article explaining how the media is actually losing popularity, especially news that focuses on being against Trump. Hopefully by the next election, the media will not portray the candidate so unfairly, and the public will be able to make a more just decision.
I assume when you say fake news, you feel they don't cover you fairly. That's what you mean by fake news?
Not all of the media. You know, I'll tell you, just that is unfair the way they cover me, because they say, the media, I'm against the media. I'm not against the media. I'm against the fake media. If you look at CNN, the way they cover me, no matter what you do, it's negative, hits. So I love the media. I think the media is great. And if I do something bad, treat me badly. But they don't tell it like it is.